Hey buddy, welcome to the G1 Report. Thanks for tuning in. What a wild first night we've had so far. Now I know I'm a little late to the upload here, but I have a good excuse. Had to watch that Joe Bob Briggs last drive-in marathon, which unfortunately coincided with the first 2 days of the G1. So that kind of set me back a little bit, but I am back on track now. Just finished the first night of the G1, and this is exactly what I was hoping for from this first night. You got a little bit of everything. We got a taste of the next 18 shows to come, rest of the 20 some odd days of action that we're gonna get. So things started off with the mixed tag matches. Of course, we start off with some young boy and old man action. It's really nice to see Jado come back. That was a nice surprise. He got a pretty big pop. Him and Goto slapped around Hanare and young Ren Narita. Hanare, I'm kind of getting over the face paint stuff. If he were to roll it back a bit and just kind of change that gimmick around, I could totally see him falling in line with falling in line with the firing squad. That could be a pretty cool dynamic, and that could really bolster their numbers. Hopefully maybe with some Ishimori involvement in there, and just keep those guys growing as the insurgency faction. Could be pretty cool. And let's see, what did we have up next? Alrighty, and it looks like next up we had Sho and Yo split up on opposite sides with Ishii and Yano. That was pretty interesting. Ishii and Sho versus Yano and Yo. Ishii had some fire going into this. He was red hot. He was trash talking. He was ready. He was ready for this G1. Yano, exactly what we thought. That this whole time he's been hyping up how he is going to, be flying straight and being the good guy, and he's going to win this one on his wrestling merits, none of these shenanigans. That lasted for maybe all of 3 seconds. I mean, to no one's real surprise, and it worked just fine. Ishii ended up picking up the win. And excited for this. I think the theme of the night, and possibly the theme of this whole G1, is going to be chaos, and chaos's implosion, kind of similar with Bullet Club. Bullet Club's mirroring chaos a bit. It's almost like Bullet Club is the Americanized chaos, like the main faction. Casual American fans are going to be watching it for Bullet Club action, whereas traditional New Japan fans will be watching it for chaos action. There's it's kind of like this Wrestle Kingdom. You had like your true New Japan main event, and then you had your Americanized New Japan main event. Not saying one's better than the other. I like them both, so let's just have that. Why not? Next up, we had Finn Juice. Oh, good old man. Juice is just, since he got that belt, he is just on fire, man. He's been on the rise, and luckily he's taken David Finlay with him. Not that I think David Finlay's doing anything wrong. He's fantastic. He's got good energy. He's decent in the ring, but he just doesn't have that it factor that Juice does. And Team Finjuice, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of them in this the G1 prelim matches. They went up against Guerrillas of Destiny. This was a pretty fun match. I got pretty into this one. It was awesome to see Tama Tonga with that stun gun when Finlay was jumping off the top rope. That was fantastic, and really made them look hot. freaking Juice, man, he's looking like some kind of like Americanized pirate boy. Dude, his look, his energy is really doing it for me. I'm a big fan. I am all behind Juice and this American title. I think this was the best choice for him. I'm glad that they didn't give it to someone like Finley. To be fair, I don't know how he would have reacted with it. He could have shot off to the moon like Juice did, but honestly, I don't think so. I think that this is Juice's time to shine. This G1, more so than last year. Last year's G1 was awesome, considering Juice. This year, he's really going to shine, I feel. This is going to be his year. And then next up, we had Zack Sabre and Taka Michinoku versus Kota Ibushi and Yujiro Takahashi. Interesting lineup. I guess essentially Kota Ibushi's in tight with the Bullet Club, so it makes sense. Really fun match. Taka Michinoku is a treasure. He's an excellent hype man. He gets me going, even though he says the same things over and over, as a true decent wrestling hype man should. It works. He pumps up Zack Sabre Jr. and people have been really, commentaries have been putting over Zack Sabre Jr., saying like he thrives in tournaments. He won Bola, New Japan Cup, a couple others I'm forgetting off the top of my head. This was a pretty cool match. Kota Ibushi looked ripped, man. Oh my goodness. Pay attention to Kota Ibushi if and when you watch this. He is just more so than usual chiseled by the gods. Zack Sabre Jr. won this one with a Michinoku driver that Taka dubbed the Zack driver. And Zack even said, I'm bored of being the best technical wrestler in the world. I want to be the best all around. And my God, he very well could be, with this mindset of him using, power-based, pinning moves. I mean, he can already make just about everyone on the main roster tap out. Now, unfortunately, he's focusing on pinning people too. He's one to keep your eye on. He's climbing up the ranks very fast. I would not be surprised to see maybe him get the Intercontinental belt in about a year or so. They're really high on Zack Sabre Jr. and for good reason. Then next up we have our first G1 28 match of the year, and it's Yoshihashi versus Togi Makabe. Now, to be fair, this was a decent match. I think this match lays the groundwork for Yoshihashi. Togi Makabe is essentially in that old dad role of he's just there to, look good and make sure these guys don't get any easy wins on him, which is fine. There need to be a couple positions like that. But Yoshihashi, interesting story. Even on commentary, they were saying that he needs to change something. He needs to reinvent. He's getting stagnant, and people are noticing it. A little, outfit change, a little ring gear change isn't what they mean. And we kind of saw a little bit of it in this match. Yoshihashi, Togi Makabe essentially represented the fans and fan perspective of him. Yoshihashi trying this, trying that. He couldn't quite overcome it. And pay close attention to this match. I think a lot of people just kind of blow it off like, whatever, I'll just go through my phone. And I was too, honestly, for a little bit of it. But then I kind of, watched it. And the storytelling in this one was really, really kind of unique. I think this could be the beginning of something special for Yoshihashi. I think also, along with Juice, Yoshihashi is going to be one of the kind of undercard guys to watch and pay attention to. Honestly, in this G1, I don't think anyone is someone to sleep on. We're all going to see this is probably going to be one of the most important G1s for all around. I think all 20 people in this are going to have a significant change by the end of this. And next up we had Page versus Fale. Ooh, this was a fun one. Fale was just monster healing it up all over Hangman, which was exactly what it needed to be. Now with Hangman Page, something about him just hasn't clicked with me, like it has with Juice or Jay White or all these younger American guys that they've been bringing in over the last few years. Some with Page hasn't clicked right. He's fantastic in the ring. I love his standing shooting star presses, his moonsaults. He's talented in the ring. He can go. I'm not worried about that. If anything, I'm excited about this G1 to really kind of get me invested in him. You know, get to know his move set, get to know his in-ring psychology a bit. But something just hasn't clicked with me with Hangman Page. I don't know what it is. I've been watching Being the Elite for years now, and that's really helped me. But there's still just that one. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just crazy, but there's just a little something about Hangman Page that just holds him back in my mind of being like a B player. Like he's still kind of in the Yoshihashi ranks in my opinion, like a C guy, if that makes any sense. And then honestly, I feel like these last 4 matches, the booking of the Fale Page match, okay, the last 3 matches could have really been a main event of a smaller show. Frickin' Elgin versus Evil, man, what a thick, meaty, sweaty boy match this was. Oh man, those forearms just landing. You could hear those from half a mile away, I bet. Evil really working on Michael Elgin's bicep. I guess I should say medium Michael Elgin. He's looking great, by the way. Oh my goodness. I didn't think he looked too bad before, but he really condensed that muscle down, and commentary is right. He didn't lose much of any strength. That being said, Evil's a big, thick bastard too, but that guy's fast. That guy can move surprisingly well. I might say I'm always surprised whenever I see a singles Evil match. I think with his injury, my memory's foggy from last year's G1. I remember liking him in that one and his subsequent title match with Okada. I remember liking it, but since that title match, he hasn't really had any chance to shine, other than various tag matches here or there. And it was a fun one. It was a fun match. Elgin ended up winning after just laying those power bombs on him, man. Evil worked over Elgin's bicep pretty well. Oh, I just realized I didn't even mention winners. Togi Makabe won the first one, and Hangman Page won the second one by disqualification when the firing squad came out and attacked everybody, and then he was saved by Golden Lovers and Chase Owens, the crown jewel. Need to remember to mention who wins these at the end. And yes, Michael Elgin won. Excellent power bombs. Really good match. Makes me feel like this should have been like a never title match or something. I like that the never open weight belt is kind of going towards this just forearm, just chop your chest red type guys like Suzuki, Evil, Elgin, Goto, just good solid workhorse. I think the never title, it's kind of been devalued over the years, I have to admit, but I think especially this year, especially with Goto, Goto's been a sleeper in my opinion. His match with Suzuki at Wrestle Kingdom was fantastic. His match with Elgin recently was, oh my goodness, that was awesome. The Cobb match was pretty good. Yeah, I think Goto's one to keep your eye on. I'm really looking forward to seeing him more in this G1. Then next up we have one of our 2 main events, and it feels like the way that they're advertising this G1 is that there are essentially 2 main events every night, which I'm fine with. With all this talent, you can easily book out of one block of 10 guys, you can easily book 2 main event worthy matches. This one is a classic rivalry. One of my 2 favorite wrestlers, one of the 2 wrestling gods that I pray to, Minoru Suzuki versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Oh my goodness. Their match earlier this year when Suzuki just murdered Tanahashi's leg. I am a huge Suzuki fanboy, and even I thought that he went a little too far. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was all behind Tanahashi. I was pulling my hair. I was thinking, no, don't hurt him, please, Suzuki. But you knew it was coming. This match was fantastic. Suzuki just dominated for a good 90% of this, and he was just going for that leg, ankle lock, knee lock, just milking it, going for it, rear naked chokes. Tried to go for that gotch pile driver, but those long legs of the ace prevented it. Then Tanahashi out of nowhere hit a like an inverted dragon screw and damaged Suzuki's knee, and for the first time in recent memory, Suzuki was rolling on the mat in agony. What the hell? Like, this is wild. Going into this, I was thinking this would be an easy win for Suzuki. I had a feeling that Tanahashi was going to kind of take the back seat in this one, and it would be Jay White and Okada in the front running for the A block. But it looks like it might be up to Okada and Tanahashi, because they have their match. There's the last A block match is going to be between those two, and I think it'll all come down to that, with Jay White coming up as a close third, maybe followed by Fale, maybe Elgin in there too. But yeah, no, that really surprised me that the Ace won this one. If I was a betting man, I would have put money on Suzuki, honestly, especially with their match earlier. But I guess Tanahashi needed his win back. I mean, it's freaking Tanahashi. I can't be upset about him beating Suzuki. It was a fun match too. And then we move on to our true main event of the night. Boy oh boy. First, I gotta preface this. When Switchblade went up against Tanahashi at the beginning of the year, I was not too into Switchblade. Honestly, granted, I didn't really follow him in Ring of Honor. I didn't follow him too much as a young boy, but it was a decent match at Wrestle Kingdom. But as it's gone on, the whole Chaos Bullet Club thing at New Year's Dash, that was fun. His match with Omega was all right. But honestly, just the more I see of Jay White, the more I get it, the more I like him. And it's really cool that we get to see Jay White go from returning from excursion. They're putting all their money on Jay White at this point. He's going to be a big name. He might even be one of the big four. Tanahashi, Naito, Okada, Omega. Like, he might be one of the big four, like one of the go-to guys of the company. And I think it's really special that we are seeing the creation of this. Kenny Omega wasn't fully embraced by everybody when he first started. He was kind of a weird, goofy, comedy, gimmicky wrestler. Same thing with Naito. He had to work for it. Almost same thing with Okada. He had that weird, awkward phase. I think in a couple years, Jay White, like, once he gets comfortable, has a couple G1s under his belt, once he gets comfortable here, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think we're seeing the early stages of a top guy. Him starting up a rivalry with Okada, fantastic. And Kenny Omega too. Tanahashi, if we get him taking out all these top guys and having match after match with them, all that talent, all that excellence is going to rub off on him. And I think we're seeing the formation of a new top guy. And speaking of top guys, Okada coming out, it still tricks me every time I hear that music fade out into his new remix. Part of me is so torn, because I was such a big mark for champion Rainmaker Okada. honestly, I could have gone for another year and a half, maybe two, of that just bleach blonde, robe wearing Rainmaker Okada. But honestly, I think if he had to drop the title, he dropped it at the perfect time. I feel like his match with Suzuki, that 30-minute draw at Suzuki's anniversary, I think that is, with the rain coming down, like that was just a perfect moment for them to pull the trigger on new Okada, punk rock Okada. He comes out with like the Sex Pistols designed thing. I know that was his kind of the soft logo before, the Rainmaker over his face, but he's going all this dyed red hair, new theme song, coming out with balloons, new pants. Just his energy, like he looks like he's having fun. He looks like this. Once he lost that belt, it's like a weight was lifted off of his shoulders, and it really shows, and it comes across, and it's contagious. I have more fun now watching Okada matches. Granted, there's only really been the one singles match of, new Okada, but his match at the G1 special with Ospreay was a blast. And this new Okada, he retains, he has all the same talents and in-ring mastery of the gold, LOL, Rainmaker Okada, but he just has this carefree attitude, like he's not carrying the weight of the company on his shoulders, so he doesn't have to be perfect. And that makes him even better, in my opinion. This fun Okada, even his moves, like his drop kicks, have a little more oomph on them. That Rainmaker he delivered just had that little extra. That tombstone was just so boom down there. And this was a really, really fun match. Jay White healing it up, dude. He got some boos at the end of this. Jay White went over, of course, with shenanigans abound. Red Shoes playing into this really well. When Okada set him up for a Rainmaker, Jay White rolled out and backhanded Red Shoes and low blowed Okada, Blade Runner 1, 2, 3. I think it's kind of funny how they Jay White did the exact same suplex onto the ring barricade that they did in America when Jim Ross got tipped over. They tipped Jim Ross. JR got tipped. I'm pretty sure that was all a work. It had to have been. If that was not a work, if Jim Ross actually fell over and got injured, the president, Harold May, would have issued a statement. Jay White would have been punished by losing this match. Yeah, it could have been. And if Jim Ross is injured out there, which he very well could be, my thoughts and prayers go out to him. I love him. He's fantastic. I don't want, any injuries or any ill will on him. But I feel like this was a big work to get Jay White over, and it's working. He's becoming, one of the true heels. Suzuki, people love him too much. He, even when he destroyed Tanahashi, people love him too much for that stuff. This match had a lot riding on it. I feel like Jay White should have won it without the shenanigans, but at the same time, I don't think that they could demote Okada to that point. This is how it had to go down. Chaos is splintering. I feel like they might be kicking out Jay White, or we might be seeing more of this. Like, this is the kind of match that can only happen first night of the G1. No real build up to it. It just boom happens, and we're gonna have to deal with the fallout of this for the rest of the G1. I feel like maybe Jay White picks a few people from Chaos and they split apart. I don't really see that happening. Maybe Jay White joins up with a firing squad and they just go after Omega, the champion. Could be. Maybe they just go after the good guys or something. Jay White's future is up in the air, and especially after this big win. And I believe Jay White's going up against Tanahashi tomorrow on the next show, which he's definitely getting his win back from Wrestle Kingdom there. So Jay White's going to be up probably 2 wins in the first 2 A block nights. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Honestly, now I think Jay White might be a contender for finalists of the A block. Wow, how weird would that be if it was like Jay White versus Ibushi in the finals? Weird. Or maybe Jay White versus Kenny and have a rematch there. Jay White goes over again. I don't know. I cannot book New Japan, let alone the G1. There's so many possibilities, but like I said, my top 3 picks for the A block are Okada, Tanahashi, and Jay White. Would I love to see Suzuki in there? Yes, but I feel like, especially with him losing to Tanahashi, at best we'll get a draw with him and Okada. He might go over Jay White. That would be cool. On all the others are kind of up in the air. He's probably going to lose more than he wins, I feel like. He's at that point, which he can take it. Suzuki doesn't have to win another match for his entire career, and nothing will change. He's fantastic. Anyway, that's it for my first night, and just kind of rambling on about that. More of this, more reviews, more rambling to come. I'm looking to get caught up and then get these posted out as soon as possible to keep up with the G1. It's one thing if this is your first time watching it. I've watched the last 3 G1s. If this is your first time watching it, you cannot sleep on these. If you miss one show, you think, okay, cool, I'll just double up. No, that's 6 hours. And then if you miss 2 shows, then by the time of that 3rd show, that's 9 hours. Each of these shows are 3 hours long. You as difficult as it may be, you have to watch the preliminary tag matches before it, because they set up all sorts of story. Kenny versus Naito, that is going to be something special. Kenny versus Sonata, even. It seems like Kenny drew some heat with LIJ with his now they must be worked comments on how Japanese wrestlers don't give as much as the Gaijins do, which take it how you will. But yeah. I tend to ramble a bunch, but hey, until next time, thanks for watching. This has been the G1 Report. Have a nice night.